Hello everyone, I'm Christine. Welcome to Christine Sews a Lot. Today I'm going to go over the Hinterland Dress by Sew Liberated. I'm going to give you some tips about making the dress. I'm going to talk about how it works in my summer wardrobe and also the benefits of making a muslin. Before I get started, I want to tell you what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Cielo top by Closet Core Patterns. I sewed this in a size 20. And I'm really loving it. I finished this day before yesterday and I've already worn it twice. So let's get into the Hinterland by Sew Liberated. This comes in a very good size range. It comes from size 0 to 34. The largest hip size goes up to a size 61. And this is the pattern. I'll show you the line drawings and I'll insert some photos of me wearing the dress. I'm going to start off talking about some of the pre-planning I did before I began sewing. I knew that I definitely wanted to do a muslin, and people seem to be either in the always muslin camp, never muslin camp, and I fall in between. Sometimes I will do a muslin. Sometimes I'm okay with going for a wearable toile or wearable muslin. It all depends on how confident I am in the pattern block and kind of the style of the item that I'm sewing. So for the Hinterland dress, I've never sewn a Sew Liberated pattern. I wanted to make the muslin because you cannot always go by what others say about a pattern. Especially if you're looking at somebody whose body shape is very different from yours, they may definitely need to size down 2 sizes or whatever they're saying they needed to sew the pattern in. That doesn't mean that I am going to need to size down. A lot depends on how that particular item fits you. So I wanted to make a muslin. Before I made the muslin, I know there's some changes that I almost always have to make. I usually have to lower the bust dart anywhere from 1/2 inch to as much as 2 inches. So that was something I wanted to check. What I did was I held my pattern piece up to me and looked at where the apex was compared to my apex, and I believe I lowered the apex by 2 inches. So I decided I was going to automatically do that in my muslin. There's no sense in doing a muslin exactly to pattern directions when you can clearly see there's a change you're going to need to make. I did wonder about doing a full bust adjustment. That always comes to mind because I am large chested, but this was drafted in the size that I made for a D cup, and my difference between my upper bust and my full bust is 3 inches right now. So that would mean the D cup should be fine with me. I fought the natural instinct to go ahead and do a full bust adjustment, and I'm happy with my decision. So for my muslin, I use this cheap muslin fabric. I think I paid about $2.99 a yard for it. I bought a whole bolt of this when Joann's had a 60% off coupon, and that's how it came down to $2.99 a yard. It's 60 inches wide, and it's so convenient for making muslins. And you will notice I put the sleeves on and I put the placket on, and I'm going to tell you why I did that. The fit of your muslin is really going to change if you have the sleeves on or not. It's pretty important to put both sleeves on and not to just fit check with the bodice only. I did that early in my sewing and then was disappointed once I added the sleeves on to my final garment of how it fit in through the chest area with the addition of the sleeve. You got the weight of the sleeve, you got that slim allowance, and you could think that you have gaping and make adjustments for it, but that's not gaping, that's just room for your sleeve. So definitely I would recommend putting both sleeves in a muslin. You will notice I did not stay stitch the neckline. I didn't add on a neckband. I didn't finish the sleeves. All I wanted to know was that this bodice would fit me well. Initially, I had folded over my front edges and pinned it in place to see how did it fit. I tried it on and it was right on the cusp of a perfect fit, or perfect to how I wanted the dress bodice to fit. And I knew that I was a little hesitant, and it was on the cusp. It wasn't quite there. So I took a breath, looked at my pattern, and I realized that by adding the button placket, it gave me a little more room in the front than what I had given myself folding the ends over and pin it together. So I thought I was already this close. Let me go ahead and just whip up the button placket, try it on, and then I would know, was it a go or a no-go? Did I need to make more adjustments? So I put on my placket, I pinned it together, and I was very happy with the fit. It fit me how I wanted it to fit me. So for my hinterland, I decided to do the button placket only on the bodice. I didn't go for the button all the way down the skirt. What's the point? It's kind of my idea on the button plackets all the way down the skirt. I could be convinced otherwise, but I don't see the point in putting the buttons down the front if you're not going to unbutton them to get in and out of the dress. I love this make. I use one of my Kylie machine labels. It says make. That's from 2 advents ago. And I use these beautiful pearl buttons. These are vintage buttons that I got from my Aunt Mary Lou last summer. So thank you very much, Aunt Mary Lou. This dress was special enough for me to go into the button jar for the buttons. I did add waist ties to the dress. I was a little bit on the fence as to whether I would want the waist ties in the dress. I found that the bodice fit really nicely when I just did the muslin, and I was tempted to leave off the waist ties, but I decided I'd go ahead and add them, and if I didn't like them, I would take them out. I think the waist ties were a good add-in. I can pull and cinch the waist in that little bit more. I like the look. I think it would be all right without them, but I prefer them with. The dress has pockets on the side seam. I am super happy with my Hinterland dress. Let me know if you have made the Hinterland or are thinking of sewing. There are 2 things that I will do differently on my next Hinterland dress. This was intended to be part of my summer capsule wardrobe. Love the color, love the style. The fabric is a medium weight woven fabric, and it's a little bit warm. Now, for most of you, I don't think this fabric would be too warm for the summer, but in South Carolina, I think I would prefer a lighter weight fabric for summer. No regrets though. This will be great transitional piece. I probably will wear it some in the summer, just not on days we're going to be outside the majority of the day. I think that the fabric color is good for me. I think that the pattern on the fabric is great for the vibe of the Hinterland dress. Just maybe not the best choice for summer, and I should have known that before I started. The other change that I'll make on my next version is I'm going to shorten the skirt. I would like for the skirt to hit right at the top of my kneecap, and that will mean taking out about 1 inch. I did measure the length of the skirt against my body, and I sewed it up how I intended. I'm happy with it, but I think I would be happier with it a little shorter. I'm not going to adjust this dress because this is going to be more of a fall winter dress for me, and in tights I think it's just going to be perfection. I do love it, but the next one will be a little bit shorter. Thank you so much for joining me. This is what YouTube thinks you'd enjoy next.